Peter, or tongue?
It's got quite a lot of fresh chilli in it.
Old Swan Fire Station in Liverpool. It's 9 p.m. and Red Watch are beginning their night shift. Peter Huff is firefighter, driver and tonight cook.
Fire call, South 82, Lawrence Road, Wavertree, car fire.
Let's go!
Old Swan is the busiest station in the Merseyside area. It receives more than 4,000 emergency calls every year.
People need to be interrupted in the middle of it, though.
Go ahead, over.
South 82, my insurance consultant.
South 82 as well.
Wishing for an uninterrupted dinner.
Phil Evans and Gavin Bassey are the two firefighters riding in the back. Phil's on a year's exchange from Adelaide in Australia.
And it's smoke. At least we didn't get interrupted for false alarm. Holy dolly!
The infrared camera fitted to Phil's helmet gets us as close to the action as the firefighters themselves.
Once a jolly swag man, champ, fire billabong. Under the shade of a coolabah tree. Bit of pressure there, boy. Just watch that bonnet. Hot. Not as hot as the curry. Oh, sunroof's still going. The sunroof.
Red Watch's sub-officer is Alan Jones.
We're normally guaranteed at least one car fire every tour of duty. It's a little early on in the evening, though, to be truthful. Normally it's nearer midnight than 9 o'clock.
Oh, hey!
I would imagine probably it's been stolen, dumped and set on fire. Oh, Plod, have you done an owners check?
We're just getting the assessment number now to get some details on it.
It started in the passenger compartment, so it's much more malicious than accidental the way it started.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Well, so they won't be getting much for that.
Sort of got a 50-50 chance of getting an uninterrupted meal. 50-50. It's all right, something like that. A couple of minutes in the microwave, it'll be as good as it was. Microwave always improves Peter's cooking.
That curry was good. Shame about that. I was enjoying that curry.
2 miles down the road on the edge of Liverpool city centre, White Watch's officer in charge, Gary Hollis, is responding to his first 999 call of the evening.
We've got a smell of toxic fumes in a house.
Central 4-1 in, over.
4-1, several calls being received.
Received, Central 4-1 over.
Calls we've received is the occupiers reported toxic fumes in the house, so it could be anything. It's like a strong smell of glue. What? Like Evo sniff glue. It's behind that. When it gets real cold, it happens. I've complained to the landlord, he's done nothing. He's just leaving. That's my elbow down. That's my elbow down, one minute.
Gary and his team must assess if the fumes are dangerous. The worst smell seems to be coming from the cellar beneath the flat.
You all right, Gary? Okay.
The old Slim Fast's working.
You reckon?
Yeah, I couldn't get in there before. There's no containers, nothing down there, it's not wet. None of your joists have been sprayed. It's all clean down there. There's nothing at all.
Yeah. How about checking outside in the back, when you get the backyard, didn't come strong at the front.
We've got a strong smell of a solvent, which is affecting this gentleman's wife and the baby. But there's no sign of anything in this property. But the property next door is open. Children may have got in and dumped something in there, so we're just going to see if we can investigate in that side.
Back up the road, Red Watch can think about getting back to their curry.
Best they've seen all night.
He's probably the best Australian I've ever worked with, you know that?
How many do you work with?
Only the one, like.
I'm British. Get out my way.
Lucky it's his last night. I wouldn't let him boss me around otherwise.
I don't want to wait for my curry too long.
God, I'm going to miss you. This is me dinner.
Want my dinner? Want my dinner? Want my dinner? Want your pillow?
Think they saved us any of the sculptors all today?
The Old Swan fire station covers Merseyside's most densely populated area. The crews are responsible for the safety of over 110,000 people.
Feel like a dinner lady.
Although Peter's curry has made it back onto the table, Red Watch must still be ready to go at a moment's notice. White Watch still haven't found the source of what may be toxic fumes.
Landlord's come out and he doesn't want to know, so after tonight I just got fed up and said like on fire and
There's not a problem with ringing us, and we'll do what we can for you.
Don't worry about the Rottweiler. It's not hungry, it's just at the zoo.
They've discovered the house next door is derelict. Gary's second-in-command, ex-paratrooper John Graves, is going to check the back garden for clues.
The back of the premises is completely secure, and there's no smell of anything.
The kids try and get in, I just chased them. The floor's completely gone in there.
Nothing in there. Might as well come out.
You found anything?
In the meantime, we keep.
Told you I went down and couldn't find
Just
nothing.
keep it ventilated. I don't wish to see him offhandedly, unless it's an imminent danger. It's not really our problem.
Nothing you can find?
There's nothing we can find, and there's not a great deal we can do. Well, I can't say whether or not it's a danger to you. If it's making your wife drowsy, then I'd suggest you.
She's basically in the paper, just like.
The baby's only 9 months old, isn't it?
Is there any? Is there anywhere you can go?
I think the best you come down and stay in mine tonight. How are you?
This is Gary's first tour of duty back on the front line after 7 years in the Fire Prevention Office.
I've been on days for a very long time. With a dicky knee, and used it as an excuse for being a porky person. So for the last 4 weeks I've cut down on my alcohol intake, increased my exercise. Can't you tell? Only 3 chins now.
All 43 of Merseyside's fire engines are in constant touch with central control by radio. At all times, control must know where every engine is and what it's doing.
Oh yeah, Central 4-1's back. Thanks, bye.
But up the road at Old Swan, there seems to be a hiccup with the tracking system.
They've lost the fire engine, says all stations. Please check if appliance E494 UKF is on your station. If so, contact central staffing. We'll have a little look, Have a look in the telly room.
I'll look in the toilet. Has this happened before?
Not here, no. I don't really lose them. I know they are, you know. But mate, some people are careless, I suppose.
How many are there out there?
Where? Hang on a sec. There's still 2.
They've lost about 8 now and they've never got them back. I think they got sold to Iraq, actually. But we're not sure.
Down at Low Hill, John Graves and his crew are on the road again.
This is one of the privileges of rank. Poor little cherubs on the pump are out fighting fires, and I don't have to go. And no sugar, it's fattening.
John's been called in to help the 2 crews based in the city centre. They've asked for backup as they fight a warehouse fire.
We're having trouble gaining access to the front section, so Station Officer Dempsey, the officer in charge, asked me to come round this side and investigate. We've seen the smoke was coming out at this side of the building. We gained access, and now we've sent the breathing apparatus crew there, the lads up with the BA sets on. They're checking the rear part of the building.
Keith? You all right? Keith? What's the site? What, please?
Station Officer Eric Dempsey is in charge of deciding strategy.
How far in can you get? Go,
So be careful. Not going any further.
We've got 2 in BA at the moment. I don't want to let a lot of men in there because it's very dangerous. What I have done to make sure my 2 Frenchmen have got plenty of water and a good escape route to get out. Because most of them worry what danger of backtrack or flash over.
Eric's team are finding it difficult to get at the fire from the front of the building. Although they're wearing breathing apparatus, BA as it's known, the visibility is almost zero in the smoke-filled rooms.
Yeah.
I'm not going in any further because there's rubble all over the floor.
Okay. Well, John, let me know how you're getting on constantly. I'll stay on channel 1 over. Eric, I've set up a BA anti-control point this side with my crew in.
It's still burning somewhere in the middle and we're not quite sure exactly what's burning. So another crew's gone in there to try and sort it out.
John has sent a second 2-man team in from the back of the building.
Stay near the wall and keep it low as we get closer.
The breathing apparatus teams wear compressed air cylinders, similar to those worn by deep-sea divers. The harder they work, the sooner they'll need new cylinders.
What I am going to do is clear the whole building as soon as I put the fire out, just to make sure that there's nobody in there. It's always a worry. John Graves, can you hear me? Yeah, there's got people fire here. What, your BA men have got through to my BA men? And Donnelly are doing this side of the building at the moment. Have you got any other BA crews doing a sweep? Over.
Yeah, I have. I've got a BA crew doing a sweep on the first floor.
The search of the warehouse is being carried out by firefighters Kevin Hughes and Brian Donnelly.
Any parties in there?
Just full of needles and got to be careful where you walk.
Drug addicts rather than tramps, is it?
Yeah, it's druggies, isn't it? You can see the place is just full of coke cans and lager and stuff. And human deposits. And human waste.
Back at Old Swan, a call has come in reporting fire in a changing room at a nearby park.
Go ahead.
Fires which could involve human life are given top priority. Both Old Swan's engines will respond.
We're out under blue light conditions and hoping for traffic to get out the way, but they don't always. When you're ready. Yeah. Clear left. No. Stop the bus. Stop! Is he all right?
Yeah.
He stopped and then he carried on.
South 82 over. South 82 unable to proceed due to road traffic accident. Request the attendance of ambulance and police. South 82 over.
The crew of the first engine, the ladder as it's known, have been unable to find any sign of fire at the changing rooms and are returning to the scene of the road accident.
You on your way to a job?
Yeah, okay. I think the ladder's come back. Yeah, the ladder's back.
Okay, we've got an ambulance en route for these good people.
Okay.
Stopped at the lights and then just decided all of a sudden, I don't know.
He come bombing down there, I come through. I slowed down for the junction, right, and I could see him coming through, and I had the lights standing at the junction.
Yeah.
And I was expecting them to slow down.
Yeah.
But I went through for the gap, and I knew he was behind me, so I thought, well...
He slowed down at the actual traffic light, as if he was letting me through, and then all of a sudden, as I got near him, he zoomed up and hit us. Couldn't get out of his way.
He seemed to slow down and then he took off.
Oh, yeah.
On emergency calls, the fire brigade are allowed to treat red lights as give way signs. But Peter could be prosecuted if the police believe his driving was in any way dangerous.
Were you the driver of the demonstrator fire engine J252 KWM at the time of the accident?
I was. You've got to use the fire engine and make people do what you want them to do, not what they want to do. So you've got to be a bit more forceful with it and put the machine in a position to make them stop or slow down. At the end of the day, they'd probably just go in the shops, or we're going, to a call or whatever. That's far more important to get to quicker.
I checked to my right, which was clear. I ambled through halfway. There was a car on the left, which slowed down.
Back at the derelict warehouse, John and his team have found further signs of life.
We go up into the second floor, which is what they're using to live in. And as you can see, there's the drinks down there, which is a mixture of Coke, Mets, which is what we're quite used to, So it's a mixture of vagrants and drug addicts. Welcome to the Penthouse. This is the deluxe area of the sleeping quarters. If you look around, you see the 2 sleeping bags up this end. There's obviously another bag there, and there's numerous needles, silver foil. We've actually known in the past the warehouse around the corner. We actually lifted the mattress up while the people were still on it. And we're actually on fire, and we do have a very hard job trying to actually get them out. It's a lot warmer in here than it is out in the streets on a wet, horrible night like tonight.
As Kevin left the building, he met one of the warehouse residents returning home.
You know where we were first? Yeah. Yeah. He said, I've got a bag of clothes, throw it down for us. So I said, there's no clothes in here, mate. He said, it's by me bed on that floor where you were. So I said, there's nothing here, mate. So I said, look, we're getting off in 10 minutes, so you can just come back and get what you want.
And your gear doesn't fit us anyway.
An hour later than scheduled, White Watch can head home for their meal.
Well, I've got to cook my own tea now, because I'm having something different to them tonight. And we're a bit late, aren't we?
Well, we haven't got the right.
I think we're having moussaka. Moussaka.
Oh, yeah.
The reason Brian doesn't eat moussaka is because he's a fussy little person. He doesn't like melted cheese. And if he has beans, he can't have them on toast, he has to have them with toast, because his bean juice can't touch anything else. So, fish and chips for him tonight.
Dinner's left. See this? That's my dinner.
Why are you eating with the others? Because I'll be tempted to eat something that's not very good for me. Very fattening. So I hide out the way and eat this.
Nice. Who made this, Dave?
Paul.
Don't be laughing. Like me.
I'll take you out and introduce you to an old-fashioned smoke eater. Or should I say smoke dodger, because he's been off on time owing tonight.
Low Hill's third officer has arrived for duty and will now take charge of the second machine.
Come on, you old coffin dodger. Hey. Go on now, it's a long way down. I can do it myself, You don't usually. It might take time, but I can. That's it. Hang on. This is my sub, Bill Walsh. I'm just going to get his Zimmer frame down out the cab now. I've actually got a new one. I've got Gary's old one.
White Watch have been called to another fire. It's at a busy Chinese restaurant less than 100 yards from the warehouse fire they've just put out.
How about sending a BA crew up here? If you've got to go into the roof base, then it's going to be smart smoking what it is.
Tell you what I'll do, John. I'll send you 4 men in BA.
A few minutes ago, a routine police patrol saw smoke billowing from the back of the Mayflower restaurant. The diners were unaware of the danger and had to be evacuated, but the source of the smoke is a mystery.
Go on the second floor. First. Go on the
8 firefighters wearing breathing apparatus are going into the restaurant to try to find out where the smoke is coming from.
No yard in the back. No yard in the back of the car. Well, I mean, it must have put onto it. So, yeah. At the moment, we've got a branch in at the front, and we've got a branch in a protected staircase. The problem with the premises is that it's landlocked. There's no way to fight it from either side. So we've got to work our way in slowly. First priority is to stop it spreading. You go with Peter. Go with Peter on the machine. Meet me round there, and I'll bring one of these round.
Gary's hoping to find another way in at the back of the building.
No, hold on, not here. Right, I'm going to take a machine round the back because of the way the building is. We can't get it from here. So can you take me round?
An hour after responding to what turned out to be a hoax call, Peter and the old Swan crew can return to the station for a debrief about the road accident.
It appeared to slow down.
It slowed down at the light,
yeah.
As we got...
That was to let the ladder through that. Yeah, that's right. And then as the ladder went through, we then took off again. We actually had stopped, and he ran into you.
Go ahead.
Clients returning to Old Swan now, and not available. South 821.
Repeat South 821.
It's 2 a.m. A senior officer has been called in to assess the damage and prepare a report.
Yelch. There's 2 accidents I've been in with fire appliances. The last one was a trainer driver in the recruit spot. So what happens when they do prank calls on wet nights? And that was it turned out to be a false alarm tonight, wasn't it, prank call? Because I realised when they make them do that.
How many for coffee? Yes, please, Bob.
Even if the police decide not to prosecute Peter, he could still be put on a brigade discipline charge.
At the next, just as you go through the lights, a little filter, if you turn like the twin. See?
It's a bit early in the morning.
All the papers we work together.
I'll leave it on his desk. I'll let him leave it that.
Are they going to what?
See what you think of that.
They got everything.
I'll do it all neat tomorrow night when I bring the license along.
I was going to break through that roof there.
Back at the Mayflower, Gary's still searching for the cause of the smoke.
Through the back.
No, it's brick up.
No, it's totally bricked up.
Yeah.
All right.
There are 8 firefighters inside the restaurant. The cause of the explosions is unknown. An instant decision must be taken about what to do next.
Get them out now. The firecracker. Get your whistles out now!
Got a ladder. Get a ladder off. Get a ladder off. 30-foot ladder.
The sound of whistles is the emergency signal to the firefighters inside to get out immediately. The sudden burst of flames out of the first floor windows is known to firefighters as a flashover. The contents of the room have become so hot, they've reached the point of spontaneous combustion.
Went up into the second floor, and they just got up into the second floor, and then the lock collapsed, and then the whistles went. So as soon as the whistles go, you come out.
The 4 BA teams are safely evacuated, but this means they can no longer attack the fire and stop it spreading. As soon as it's safe, they'll have to go back inside. In the meantime, all their cylinders must be checked and refilled.
The whole upper floors have burst into flames now. So we brought all the BA men out for safety, and we're hitting it from a defensive tactic now from outside. Just stand back a bit, it might knock you.
847, confirm 847, over.
As the 7th engine is called in, Gary will brief senior officers who will now take over all charge.
Yeah. The problem is, when I look out the back, in this corner at the back, it's going through the roof. I don't know whether they can hit it from there.
What we could do now is take the pump round the back.
You can't get round the back there. No, you can't, because it's completely landlocked on this side and landlocked on the other side. You can't get a machine or a ladder.
Get him out of there.
Yeah.
1 hour later, Gary's sub-officer Billy Walsh and a small team of firefighters have been allowed back into the building. They're trying to attack the fire from a concrete staircase at one end. From this point, they can try and get closer to the fire.
What we've got, John. That's it, you're on our limit there. Okay, John. Fell through, is it? Yeah, it's fell through. How long have your two BA men got? 20 minutes.
I'll go and get them out.
Get them out. Well, let's sort out the water that's happening.
As the fire continues, the risks to the firefighters attacking the blaze inside are increasing. The alternative is a more defensive approach from outside.
Billy?
Yeah?
The boss wants you all out.
Wants everyone out? I've got the team are right on top of the fire now. They're actually there now.
It's going on the floor above you, right above you. Start bringing them out.
It's solid. Absolutely solid, this. We can work from here. Stay on the staircase.
Billy, your BA men are not to move up this staircase. Keep your BA men on this staircase, because it's going above you.
What have you got left, John? If we keep this going here, do you want to have just a quick look up there? And if you can get the traps maybe, then I'll get a team to relieve you.
2 hours later, the fire's coming under control, but the smoke is still a major problem.
We just started to work our way in because we can vent the premises to the roof using the hydraulic platform. We've got a team of 4 men on the second floor, and a team of 2 men with a junior officer on the first floor, and they're trying to work their way in. But obviously, because of the length of time the fire's been burning, we're concerned for their safety as well. So we're trying to vent the premises and get some light in there so they can work their way in.
But Billy's gone back in without breathing apparatus.
Oh, Gary, listen, I'm on the second floor. I need to get a short exit up here. I'm trying to get contact with somebody.
2 men in BA on the second floor.
There's 4 coming in, 2 to the second floor.
Right. Don't really need him on the first floor unless it's to relieve the team that's in there.
We do, but it's to get Billy Woods out.
Billy Woods.
They're in without BA.
Billy's on the second floor. I've just been up into clear. What he wants, he just wants to gain access into that roof space, and it's sorted then, all right?
Billy's convinced that he's on the verge of beating the fire, but he's been inside without breathing apparatus much longer than any of the firefighters wearing BA.
Billy? Billy Woods? Where are you?
With the adrenaline surge and excitement of a fire like this, it's easy to lose track of time.
Yeah.
Come over here.
Where are you?
I'm in by the stairs. This is me over here.
Right, come over to your left. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Go pitch one of stories.
How long have you been in for? I don't know. Probably about three or four BA sets. Don't have a little blow now.
We're just sending the reliefs in now, obtaining BA whalers, and we're starting to put the main firefighters from inside now.
Is the fire under control now?
We're just about, yeah. There's still a bit more to do, yeah, but it's under control, yeah.
The fire has done so much damage, the structure of the building is now a concern.
It's not safe in here. I'll stay out, please. Just deal with my baby.
The fire's finally out. As the last BA teams emerge from the upper floors, Billy has made his exit into the fresh air.
I knew you were in without BA, so I went in to look for you. You know, the entry control officer, at the end of the day, it's his responsibility. No one out here knew where you were. Honestly, we had fellas coming up the second floor on a ladder, and they had to have a jet on to bring them down. Just coming out the window. We didn't know where you were.
White Watch have been on the fire ground for 4 hours.
Let's go, Will.
All right, well, see you back. Thank you, mate.
Yeah, I'll come back to you a bit, that's it.
It'll only take 15 minutes to be ready again, but discussions about tactics and strategy will go on for much longer.
Paul Sue's back, but I don't think we're going to be available for 10 minutes.
There's no such thing as holding the fire. You're either fighting the fire or it's going to burn past you. And there's only room for sort of one, and that's either the fire or the firefighters, and one has to go. I prefer it to be the fire.
12 hours after the flames were finally put out, the investigation into the cause of the fire is getting underway. Arson will be at the forefront of fire investigator Mike Griffiths' mind.
We've got a thriving business with full order books and a fire occurring at a time where we're coming to the busiest time of the year. In fact, all the time that we've been here doing an investigation, we've had people coming in for their meals, and we've had people asking can they have their deposits back because they're trying to reboot.
The investigation must establish why the fire went undetected as long as it did, and how customers were able to continue eating their meals while smoke was pouring out of the back of the building.
Now we're starting to get down to the lowest point of burning. We've got an excellent exit point for the fire running on this timber wall boarding. So everything that's going on here, anybody who's underneath is unaware, and the fire is travelling upwards.
Now that Mike's identified the lowest level of fire damage, he can try and pinpoint where it actually started.
What we'll do now is we'll confirm by going to the other side of this wall, because the idea is that I want to see everything both above and at the side, and then eventually get to the point where...
No one was hurt when the ceiling of the Mayflower collapsed. When the investigation resumed, the fire was traced to an electrical fault in a hand dryer in the men's lavatory. The missing fire engine was eventually found. It hadn't been sold to Iraq, but was being serviced at the brigade workshops. Mr. and Mrs. Hughes were not seriously injured when their car collided with the Swan fire engine. They are, however, suing the fire brigade for the damage. The police decided not to prosecute Peter. He's since been cleared by an internal fire brigade inquiry.